Before the video starts, I just want to let you know that there are two new designs on my store. This first one is about Pac-Man chasing some ghost Pokemon, and this next one is a pretty edgier design, I guess. It says Satanas es puchelas frigeserat, which hopefully translates to Satan is a pretty chill guy. It's Latin, so, it's a dead language. I don't know it. So if you want to get them, they're on shirts, cups, notebooks, other things. Link in the description below. When I was younger, I was absolutely obsessed with Pokemon. But then again, who wasn't? Pokemon was essentially the most popular thing in the late 90s and early 2000s. While it could be argued that it's not as popular today, it's evident that it is still one of the biggest franchises in video game history, and actually still retains a significant amount of popularity today. Truthfully, I always liked Pokemon, and I loved it even more when I was younger. I would buy every single game that came out, or at least one of the pair. For those that actually don't know, each Pokemon generation brought two games, one pair. In the first generation, you had Red and Blue, then came Gold and Silver, followed by Ruby and Sapphire, and you start to get the idea. Alongside with each new release, there would also be loads of new merchandise, which I would of course waste my money on. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I should also share, I actually still have a Squirtle plush I bought when I was younger. And although my hype for Pokemon has since died down over the years, I still get excited for every new game in the series. Anyway, as a kid, I never really looked deeper into the games besides what was, presented to me on the surface. Even then, I didn't really understand the context of areas like Lavender Town and Fire Red. Looking even deeper today, I started noticing how much Game Freak, and by extension Nintendo, was actually able to get away with in their child-friendly RPG with adorable monsters. With that said, I thought it'd be a great idea to take a closer look deeper into the hidden horrors of the Pokemon universe. And what better place to start than the region that started it all, the Kanto region. As I stated earlier, when I was younger, I never bothered to take a closer look at the games, other than what was blatantly portrayed. As such, I never actually looked at some of the Pokédex entries for some of the Pokemon. And let me tell you, some of them are just straight up messed up. Luckily for you, I have my trusty Pokédex to tell us about some of the creepiest Pokemon entries in the games. How about we start with this one?
Parasect. A host parasite pair in which the parasite mushroom has taken over the host bug. Prefers damp places.
During the course of Parasect's life, as a Paras, it is rumored to be in severe pain, as the parasite on top of it takes it over. In all actuality, Parasect is really nothing more than a mindless zombie. On the surface, that doesn't seem all that terrifying, but take this into account. In the Pokemon world, there are a lot of stories / Pokédex entries that imply Pokemon and humans are descendants from a singular organism. With that in mind, it isn't entirely out of the question that the parasite on Parasect's back could infect many people, as humans and Pokemon may share some DNA.
Cubone. It wears the skull of its dead mother on its head. When it becomes lonesome, it is said to cry loudly.
While it's not a terribly creepy or scary Pokédex entry, it is a rather depressing one. I know Pokemon aren't real, but imagine how sad it must be to see a little creature like Cubone cry because it lost its mother. On that note, it is a bit creepy that Cubone wears its mother's skull as a helmet, and all of them do, which has actually led some to believe that Cubones may in fact kill their own mothers.
Ghastly. A being that exists as a thin gas. It can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds. Almost invisible, this gaseous Pokemon cloaks the target and puts it to sleep without notice.
Ghastly, the first of the 3 ghost Pokemon introduced in Gen 1, is actually quite the dangerous Pokemon, despite its goofy appearance. Apparently, the Pokemon's body is made up of 95% poisonous gas powerful enough to knock out a large target, to which it will proceed to consume them, and that includes people.
Haunter. If you get the feeling of being watched in darkness when nobody is around, Haunter is there.
In other Pokedex entries, you're warned against approaching Haunter, as it too is a dangerous Pokemon. It lurks in the shadows, waiting for its next prey, whether that be another Pokemon, or an unwavering 10-year-old trainer. Haunter will strike. Using its ability to shift through walls, it will slip by without you even knowing, and use its tongue to lick the fear right out of you, as well as your life force.
Gengar. On the night of a full moon, if shadows move on their own and laugh, it must be Gengar's doing. It is said to emerge from darkness to steal the lives of those who become lost.
Gengar, another ghost-type Pokemon, has the ability to control shadows. Deep in the night, it will use this ability to get closer to its targets, its next prey. Amidst the shadows of the night, it will lurk in corners of darkness, waiting for the right moment to attack and steal the life of its targets.
Hypno. It carries a pendulum-like device. There once was an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized.
Personally, I never cared for Hypno as a kid. There was just something off about it that kind of creeped me out when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I now know that I was right not to trust its lemongrab looking face. Anyway, Hypno's Pokedex entry is definitely the creepiest amongst the Gen 1 Pokemon. What really sets him apart from, the other creepy Gen 1 Pokemon entries is the second sentence. There once was an incident in which it took away a child it hypnotized. It's now a good time to mention that this Pokemon is also dubbed by the community as the Predator Pokemon because of its disturbing Pokedex entry. And honestly, that notion isn't too far off, considering one of Hypno's pastimes is stealing children. Interestingly enough, this Pokemon actually got its own creepypasta too. The creepypasta titled Hypno's Lullaby essentially tells the story of Hypno and its Pied Piper ways. It leads children away to never be heard from again. Why not take a listen to Lullaby and tell me what you think?
Come, little children, come with me. Safe and happy you will be. Away from home, now let us run. With Hypno you'll have so much fun. Oh, little children, please don't cry. Hypno wouldn't hurt to fly. Be free to frolic, free to play. Come with me to our cave to stay. Oh, little children, please don't squirm. These ropes I know will hold you firm. Now look to me, the pendant calls. Back and forth your eyelids fall. Oh, little children, you cannot leave. For you, your families will grieve. Mine's unraveling at the seams, allowing me to haunt their dreams. Do not wail and do not weep. It's time for you to go to sleep. Little children, you were not clever. Now you'll stay with me forever.
If you played any Pokemon game that is set in the Kanto region, then you know about Lavender Town. It's that one creepy town in the game, near the uppermost right region of the map, infamous for its dark story and melancholic tone. Once you enter the town, you start to get the feeling that something's off. The aura, the music, the overall sudden change in tone doesn't sit right with you compared to the rest of the game. Approaching the town from the north, you run into one of the NPCs that tells you, ghost Pokemon appeared in Pokemon Tower. I think they're the spirits of Pokemon the Rockets killed. This establishes two things. Team Rocket is up to no good as always, and the town is haunted. Continuing to explore the town will lead you to discover another NPC in the Pokemon Center that tells you, I saw Cubone's mother trying to escape from Team Rocket. She was killed trying to get away. This NPC informs us of the town's subplot, the story of Cubone and its deceased mother. This actually comes into play later. After some more exploration, you enter the house of one Mr. Fuji, who actually cares for lost Pokemon, with, nowhere else to go. You later find out that he is being held by Team Rocket up in the Pokemon Tower, and so you set out to go rescue him. Upon further investigation, you also learn that the big tower located on the upper right of the town is actually a gravesite where people go to bury their dead Pokemon. Moving on, as you make your way up the tower, fighting multiple Team Rocket members and a bunch of ghost Pokemon, you eventually encounter a strange enemy. Ghost. It's not a ghost Pokemon like Ghastly, Haunter, or Gengar, but a ghost. Unlike every other Pokemon in the game, you can't catch it, and mid-battle it only uses one move, Curse. This enemy has no noticeable shape. It's just a strange steam-like purple pattern, with eyes that gaze directly at the trainer. At you. After successfully being able to beat it, and after being able to rescue Mr. Fuji, you come to a touching realization. The ghost you were fighting was in fact the mother of the poor Cubone you met/heard of earlier. You let the two say their goodbyes, and you accompany Mr. Fuji and Cubone back to their home. You say goodbye to the pair, and continue your journey. Although, one thing still lingers on your mind as you leave. While you were in town, you spoke to a girl who asked you, do you believe in ghosts? Being the confident soul that you are, you told her no, only for her to respond with, that white hand on your shoulder. Ugh, never mind, I'm just imagining it. What did she mean by that? Also, just really quick, in the anime, the white hand is actually there, and it actually scared the living hell out of me when I first saw it.